What's up, world? This is We Need the Fifth. This your man Mo. Got my man Hill in the building.
Yo,
Got my man P on the line.
What up?
Fellas, coming off a big episode I felt last week where we finished up the NBA Hall of Fame and whatnot. And during that time, we were talking about FIBA World Cup, United States, and their potential to get gold in this World Cup. Well, it's Saturday, gentlemen, and the world won. U.S. lost to Germany in a close one, but wasn't really. Germany pretty much had control of the game for the most part, I felt, for the majority of the game. Let me first ask, did you guys get a chance to see the game? United States versus Germany semifinal match.
Thanks to Hill for alerting me. I caught the fourth quarter.
Okay.
Yeah, I caught that.
Any thoughts out there about our U.S. national team?
The same that I've been given for the past since we started speaking of it. I think they need more talent. Now, I want to just say there are talented players on this team. I just don't think it's the best talent that USA has to offer. And I think at this point, I don't think the world's caught us just yet, although they won. But just overall, they've closed the gap so much. I think we have to bring our best, to win gold.
Yeah, I think the margin of error has definitely collapsed on us. There's very little wiggle room. And to your point, I think we definitely have to bring our top tier talent when it comes to international play. Hill, did you get a chance? Of course, you put us on. So
yeah, definitely. The field won, so I'm eating crow on that. But they beat them already. You know what I'm saying? They beat this team, and they beat them handily. So what I took from this was just an adjustment not made from the Lithuania game and points that Germany took. You know what I mean? The way they played earlier was that Schroeder tried to pretty much will them and out-talent the U.S., and the U.S. was just more a talented team. And they picked up on the soup to nuts with Lithuania and said, you know what? However, I'm playing inside out, and I'm going to keep my ego, because Schroeder is an ego guy as a Laker fan. The best way to have the last laugh is to win. And it wasn't going to be on the shoulders of him being this offensive guy and winning on his own. It was, he saw the flaws, and U.S. just did not adjust to that, which gives me some credence to saying that they can't substitute height, yes, for one, but Steve Kerr, I have some questions. You played this exact same team before. You had a precursor to what you had, and you just are coming off a loss. That handily says a lot about that whole that coaching staff, which is said to be one of the elites.
Yeah, and they had some elite coaches or coaches that we would think would be considered for the Hall of Fame at the very least, between Kerr, Spoelstra,
Few.
What you say?
You?
Yeah, Mark Few is probably the least qualified.
Yeah,
one of the best college coaches out. So.
And no adjustments, and they were down double figures. I mean, they lost by 2. They came back to make it respectable. And like I said, you saw this Germany team before, and there was nothing that really stood out besides the fact of you're out rebounded again by plus 34, 37, 42. They're short, I guess, and I guess you just can't. Like I said, you can't constitute for the difference and the factors, but it feels like I'm going in circles. You played them already, and you're coming off a loss. So you're short. You're not. These guys aren't going to turn into 7-footers overnight. What was the game plan to say that we might get taken inside to the cleaners and get drugged? Nothing. Or they just couldn't do nothing about it. And then that goes to P and your point, in which I don't care if it's inside or out, Hill. I just think that this just isn't a team. Like, this is, the team that just can't cut it, which might be the case.
Yeah, but to your point, I know when we were talking in pre-production, you were highlighting like, hey, how much heat should be on Kerr for this loss. And initially, when you said that, I was like, hell, they didn't have enough talent to begin with. So let's start with that, like, to your point. But as I watched it this morning, the game, I'm seeing what you're talking about as far as, hey, roster selection and just the starting lineup that he chose. He didn't. I felt like when they started making their comeback, especially in the first, I felt like he didn't capitalize on that and keep that group together. I think it was Anthony Edwards, Austin Reeves, Halliburton, Portis, and Blanchero. At one point, they made a run where they tied it up in the first half and whatnot. And whatever they were doing with that group, they weren't able to keep it consistent. And it's just like,
that goes to P's point, though. I hear what you're saying. I agree with you. That goes to P's point. That's a significant drop off to the second team, and that second team has Brandon Ingram on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what does that say about BI? You know what I'm saying? Like,
and BI didn't play. I think he had. I think they reported some type of stomach illness or something to that effect.
But this whole tournament, you would think he's the guy.
Yeah, that's another takeaway like I got from this. Coming into this, I would say him, Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, you can make an argument who's the best player on the team. And to Anthony Edwards' credit, he really just distanced himself.
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram coming off these playoffs, I was impressed. You know what I mean? I still think he's a good player. But to me, Anthony Edwards kind of separated himself. If we were ranking, doing our little imaginary rankings, Edwards definitely, if he wasn't over him already, he is now in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think in this World Cup, at least for me, I started to see the Anthony Edwards that Hill has seen since he was drafted. And always boasted about, hey, Anthony Edwards is a beast. He could, be a real star in the league. I started to see some of that come to fruition. One of my biggest knocks on Anthony Edwards has always been his decision making. Whether that be on defense or offense, I've always felt that he's falling back on that jump shot a little too much for me, especially where has a clear mismatch against his defender and can get it to the hole, and at the very least get a foul. I always felt like I always wanted him to make better decisions in that regard. And you started to see that in this World Cup. And he, like I was telling P in our pre-production meeting, I think Anthony Edwards is coming. I think he's on his way to being, like I said, the type of player that Hill always saw him as. I'm starting to see that player. I don't know how that's going to develop with him in Minnesota. I don't know if that's going to be the best spot for him with his talent and where I think he's going to end up going. But yeah, I think he officially put the NBA on notice. Like, it's for real what you saw last year in the playoffs. As far as me stepping up to the moment. Anthony Edwards said, "Yeah, I'm gonna double stamp that and double down on it. I'm here."
I mean, I saw quite a bit of. If we take anything from this, I think that's well, that's a part of our next segment. Like, who we actually possibly think could make it. But I at least saw some stocks raised, which I was happy about. I never was locked in to Halliburton's game. You know what I mean? So for me, Halliburton opened up my eyes as, you know, someone that Indiana should feel comfortable and turning over the keys to him and running that team. You know what I'm saying? He's good. You know, what Austin brings to the Lakers, he's unable to be unlocked. You know what I mean? These players are just becoming really, really good players, what could be to great teams or make great teams. That's how you build it up. And I saw some really good steps. I see why Milwaukee is going to be Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? I have an issue with Bobby Portis and his height. He wasn't that guy from Alabama, right?
I want to say Arkansas.
Arkansas? One of those.
I'm not an expert on this, on SEC basketball.
One of those. One of those. SEC, Arkansas, Alabama. I think Garnett messed it up for a lot of people. A lot of people aren't Kevin Garnett. And Garnett was more of a presence inside for having that much talent on the outside.
Yeah. And to your point, Hill, one of the things that I was thinking when I was watching the game is like, I think U.S. basketball in general, especially when it comes to the big men, we're starting to lose that art, you know, of inside, you know, being able to negotiate your way in the paint and find a way, being able to, hey, have your back to the basket and be counted on for a bucket. It felt like when I was watching it, I don't know what you guys saw, but I never saw Bobby Portis actually put his back to the basket or take advantage of height disparities when he had it. Jaren Jackson, I never saw him do that either. It felt like they were all trying to face up and create off the dribble. And to my point, I know during the regular season, during the NBA regular season, I was talking to you guys about, hey, I feel like the big man is dying. The traditional big man is dying. And I think this World Cup is like proof positive as far as the United States.
I think it's the way they're coached, in the way that they're used. You know what I mean? Like the talent is there. Now, is it the golden era of Olajuwon and David Robinson? No. But I think there are talented big men. It's just the style of play. It's the style of play, they'll tell you it's European, but it's more like street basketball where, you know, if you go to any playground in America and your game is post up, you're not going to get a lot of shots if you can't get it on your own. And I think it's the style that the NBA's ends, where if you can't face up and get it on your own, no one's slowing down. That no one practices the entry pass. Like that's not, you know what I mean, really part of the game. So I understand what you're saying, but even that being said, I feel you still see people like Giannis and Joker who take advantage of their heights in other ways by, you know, getting offensive rebounds or just facing up, taking a couple of dribbles in and just raising up. You know what I mean? So, you know, these are all non-American players, to your point, but you know, I think that the big men are still, they're not extinct. They're just have to adjust to the style of play so they don't become extinct.
And I don't know if that's going to, and I don't know if that's going to be possible.
No, you see,
I don't see.
Like I see, you sort of with Giannis, the last 4 MVPs.
I mean, but as far as United States talent, you're talking to me about foreign talent,
right? Because the best big men are foreign. I think it's just talent at this point.
And I'll give you one. I'm thinking of this guy's game, and I would take Walker Kessler off and Bobby Portis as well as Paulo Banchero. If you substitute those three players, right, and give me mid-level two players and just give me Rasheed Wallace, this is a blowout. If you give me just Rasheed Wallace as my 5C and just give him the ball, he turns around and he's throwing it on any of these 7-footers and he's monstrally getting rebounds. You know what I mean? Like, I was saying to myself, I said, the dream team spoiled us because it's dominance and beauty. You were able to just enjoy how great they were and say it's going to be a 50-point game. We might, as you know, USA Basketball, have to say, get the goal, bro. You know what I'm saying? Coach these kids to get the goal. You want to showboat when you're playing fundamental basketball and being up by 20, and the last 2 minutes you're doing some highlight reels. But for y'all doing this one-on-one stuff, and knowing that they're immensely talented, way more than their opposition, even playing against Luka and the other guys. It's Luka, and then you would say, all right, I'll take the other 12 USA players.
In Hill, I agree with you on the Rasheed Wallace thing, but would they give him the ball in the post?
That's the issue.
You know what I mean? Like
that's the issue.
That's the thing for me. Like in Mo, you know, if there was a Giannis, a Joker, American, would the coach draw up plays to give them the ball in the post?
Yeah.
You know, the NBA tells me no.
And the European basketball tells you that's the way we play basketball.
Right. And you see the kid, Zach Edey from Purdue, he's 7'3", 7'4" post player, gave you like 2010 in college. He had to go back to college because no one wants that. You know what I mean? Like, so if you're looking for I know he's Canadian, I know, but
you'll see him tomorrow eat up the US.
Yeah, if you're looking for a post player, if the NBA were looking for post players, Zach Edey would be like a top 5 pick. But they projected him as a second rounder because that's his game. Offensively, his game is in the post. They don't want that.
So let me go on to my next question. Do we think the U.S. can still win a medal at this point?
Yeah, I think they definitely could beat Canada.
Absolutely. Am I banking on it? I don't know the response from this being as a letdown. You know what I mean? Carmelo reached out. Kevin Durant reached out. You know what I mean? So it's like you still go back to the league as failures. You know what I'm saying? So do you take it as you lost what should have been as the goal and pack it in and say, like, yo, let's get ready for the league and give this up to Canada? Or you save face and grab some hardware? I don't know. Canada is pretty much on a competitive edge, and it's house money, so they're going to be playing fun. The loss, Shea is having fun. RJ's having fun out there. So I wonder how the demeanor for the U.S., will it be a letdown and they continue to finish what they started and get some type of good faith showing? Or do they just say, you know what, it's not the goal? I'm not concerned.
Yeah, I think if they want to come back next year, they need to get the bronze. Because if they just don't medal, that's just a stain on all their careers. Now they could overcome it, you know, i.e. LeBron, Wade, etc. But that's a stain on your career. If you just don't medal at all, and which is possible. I think Canada's a good. I honestly had Canada described as the second best team in this tournament.
They medal. I don't even know if you want any of these guys back now. To be fair.
No.
We're getting to that, Hill. I don't think. I don't know. I want to say that I think this team is a prideful team, and I think their pride will show out, and they'll pull it out for a bronze medal. But my brain is telling me, nah, it's a wrap.
I thought you was just asking for effort. And they I don't care if they play their hardest, they still gonna lose.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
This is gonna be a talent on talent game. I mean, this is not gonna be a fundamental game of serves inside out, working wise. This is Shea's gonna look to play, RJ's gonna look to play, Powell's gonna look to play, Olynyk is gonna look to play.
Yeah.
This is for country more so, you know, and I give more edge to Canada.
And I think quietly, you probably have the two best players in Shea and Ant-Man going head to head. You know what I mean? Just individual talent. So it'll be interesting. I think both of those guys will definitely come to play.
All right. Next question, and he'll kind of beat me to the punch. Do we look to bring back anybody from this team for the Olympics? Or do they have to win this bronze medal game in order for anybody to be considered for the Olympics?
Listen, for me, I mean, I have him as the top 3 2 guards in the game. I would take him probably uno. So if you have it, it'll just be probably Ant-Man, and he would probably be coming off the bench because I can give you 2 spots for each. I mean, you guys were right from the beginning. I can give you 2 spots in which each of these guys probably wouldn't make the 3rd team, but definitely not the 2nd team. So it was an audition. I think Ant-Man passed it. After that, no, like people's stock is just down, and Reeves' stock is not enough to get to where you want him to get. There's so many people before Reeves, but he played well. So many people before Brunson, and he flamed out. I'm just thinking about the players that played well. You know, Bridges, a really good defensive player. You'll take a player who's half his defense and just immensely more scoring, and will take just for surefire offense. You know what I mean? There's no way Klay Thompson can move the puppies, but you'd rather put a 12 spot and say, I'd rather take Klay than Mikal. You know what I mean? And at that point, I would say, you know, I would take the players from this team. They're young, but look what they showed you here. Why even do it? It's just certain players that just built for that stage. So you're taking Dame Lillard over? Yes, you're taking Dame Lillard over people. You're taking whatever you're doing. You're taking Dame Lillard. You're taking Kyrie. You take these players that they're just better. And players that'll just grasp it and figure out. These guys were young. Even when you have that anger, Ant is yelling Ant's yelling. You know what I mean? He doesn't want to see this loss. He's getting fired. He's going crazy. Every single player is not having that from the original team. Klay's in people's face. You know, I'm not even going to say Steph, because if you have these players, more than likely these people are getting drugged. They're putting on the show. It's going to be pretty like the Dream Team. Steph is going back and forth, going crazy, hitting threes. Dame is hitting threes here and there. You know what I'm saying? You just have so much more talent at the positions than these guys, who I thought can get it done. But no, I mean, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, you know what I'm saying? You're going to bring out. Then you'll have Mitchell Robinson, and you have certain bigs that'll just be just for bigs because you have way more talent just around everywhere. So it won't matter. So,
Pete. I'm sorry.
Nah, good.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Pete, you think anybody deserves to come back for the Olympic squad?
Deserve is tough because I think Jalen Brunson played well. Mikal Bridges played well. Like Hill alluded to, there's just more talent. Like Jalen Brunson played well, but I'm not taking him over Steph or Dame or Kyrie. Mikal Bridges played well. I'm not taking him over Durant, LeBron, Jason Tatum. You know, Anthony Edwards would be the only player I would really consider bringing back. And that's tough because you have Devin Booker, you have Donovan Mitchell, you have Jaylen Brown. So to be honest, I don't need him. But you know, if it came down to Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Edwards, just almost as a thank you, because I think it's almost pretty much at this point it's a push. I would bring back Anthony Edwards. You know what I mean? Just to reward him for his effort. You know what I mean?
But he's coming off the pine.
Yeah. He very might well be the 12th man.
Right.
If in my eyes, if I get everyone I would want and everyone that I want to commits, Anthony Edwards would be the 12th man at best. And that's no slight on Anthony Edwards. He's a young player. Years to come, he might be the best player on one of these Olympics teams. But right now, he would be a 12th man. And he's the only one that I would strongly consider bringing back.
Yeah, I think we're all agreed on Anthony Edwards, and to your point, P, I think if I'm the U.S. Olympic Committee, especially for basketball, I want to cultivate that type. What I've seen in this World Cup with Anthony Edwards,
Mhm.
I want to cultivate it for when, hey, Steph Curry and Dame Lillard won't be available for the next Olympics. Not even for 2024, but 2028. I would want to bring him along and kind of like you said, he'll be the 12th man. So hey, you get to see what it takes and what we need from you and what type of um commitment we need from you. And then 2028, because 2028, you're going to be one of our lead guys.
Yeah,
And
because
you're going to be one of our captains.
frankly, this is everybody's last hurrah. The guys that I'm going after, Steph,
Yeah.
LeBron, Durant, Kawhi, AD, this is possibly their last international, their last Team USA run. So, just to have, someone, and then, people are human. If you don't invite anybody from this team, they might not want to come back and say, oh, now you need me? Especially if I'm Anthony Edwards. I gave up my summer and, and I balled out. You didn't pick me for the Olympics, but in 2028, oh, no, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'm good.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked around other talent that people that might not make it that would possibly been on this team. You know what I'm saying? Like Paul George might not make the Olympic squad. You know what I'm saying? They're better. Ingram, you could have substituted for his teammate, and Zion would have probably played better than what Ingram gave you. Zion translates to an international game where you just can't stop him. People jumping on his back, and he's still probably dunking it. I mean, there's just more. It's just levels to talent, and I thought that was Ingram's. I think Ingram has and way better all around bag than Zion, but who cares? They get the same amount of production and points when they're playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was one of the few players I felt kind of let me down or didn't meet the expectations I had of him going into this. To your point, Hill, I thought that, hey, him and Anthony Edwards would be battling for that, top dog spot. And it just seemed like Brandon Ingram was lost at times. It just, wasn't effective. Like I said, he didn't meet my expectations.
He's a damn good player, and I don't know if he was just if he and a lot of me put this on. All right, they didn't have 2 weeks to get together and gel. Okay, but I didn't like this guy's coaching, how he put team, not the way he coached, but the way the players he put out together. Yeah. Like it just seemed like you needed to get a gold medal, Steve. You need to go with your bread and butter and put people's egos to the side. Like you're still trying to funnel minutes for everyone. Find a team in which you feel comfortable that can get you a lead in which you can play big around for the whole thing. Substitutions, it was rough, but it was only 2 weeks.
I kind of want to ask who would we like to see go to the Olympics at this point? I know it's 12 roster spots, right?
Right.
If we had to choose an Olympic squad today, who would?
Honestly, for me, it's not hard at all.
Okay.
I'm thinking point guard. I need Steph and Dame.
Done.
At the 2, I need Jaylen Brown and Devin Booker.
Done.
At the small forward.
The small, I would probably see the small. I'm not even.
And this is going to be assuming that everybody's healthy. Everybody that you will.
LBJ.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just forward because I don't know. I don't even know who's exactly a power forward. I would go, but I definitely would go LeBron, Durant, Kawhi, Tatum.
Okay, so that's
right there. And then AD and Joel Embiid, if he's available, would be my centers. And then for the last 2 spots, you would have like a Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Edwards, Klay Thompson. You know what I mean? Like, so like my list is pretty, you know, my wish list for this team is pretty easy. And I know like getting Kawhi to play in the Olympics is like going to be a task. AD, you know, but though to me, those are the 12 best plays that the USA could put out there.
Hill,
Yeah, I'm pretty
you
much.
agree with that list?
Yeah, pretty much down that same list. You know.
Moving forward, Coach Prime in Colorado football. They had a big win last week against TCU. I think TCU at the time was ranked 17 in the nation. Colorado was able to pull up 3-point upset, 45-42. Shedeur Sanders, I believe he had 510 passing yards. Travis Hunter, two-way player, cornerback, and wide receiver, had interception and a touchdown catch, and had over 100 receiving yards, I believe. How serious should we take this Colorado team?
Yeah.
Or how far do we think they can go? How far do we think this Colorado, or how good do we think this Colorado team could be?
13 zip right now, just a little live.
Yeah, very serious. I wanted to chime in that they're up at halftime, up 13-0. So Nebraska defense, as we were talking off air, 4 sacks. You know, the defense looks pretty good. Yeah, they have talent. You know what I mean? Like I know we're going to get into Coach Prime. You know what I mean? And then, you know, obviously he's a great football mind on all levels of football. He's you know, one, but besides that, he has players. You know what I mean? Both of his sons, Travis Hunter, even I think is that freshman. I think he had what, 3 touchdowns last week. He's like a true freshman. Like, you know, I don't see how you don't take them serious.
Phil, what are your thoughts on Colorado football?
I'm high on primetime, always has been. And I hope Prime goes undefeated this season. That's the hopes and wishes. I don't want to get too high in reality and too low in reality either. I just want improvement. Each game, I just want improvement. You know, to get to where I think he can be as a coach in this team could be. This is their first go round, so I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be too cliche, but I just don't want to steep expectations with Colorado, because it seems like that first loss might be a chink in the armor for all his detractors. So it's like he has to be perfect each time instead of these kids out there having fun. And that's all Prime is preaching to these kids. And it's not just the me against the world thing. It's just the fact that they don't believe you're as good as I think you guys are good. And he's not willing mid-level players. He has a heck of a talent pool on his team. They have good players. You know, for me, it's just where would this defense be to uphold what they have? His son is special, both of them, but definitely his quarterback. He should be in the hopes for Heisman if he just continues.
Yeah, I think
to keep him back would be the stigma of, you know, the media not having, you know, to want his father. But if they continue winning, I don't think there's nothing you could do to even stop that. So for me, I don't know. I just think Coach Prime is he's special, and I think they have something special brewing up there in Boulder. So we'll see. I don't want to put too much on it, but something's clicking here.
P, I want to start. I'm going to put both of y'all on the spot, but I want to start with you. What do you think what do you think at the end of the day, end of the season? What do you think Colorado Buffalo's record is going to be?
Oh, their record. Wow. I haven't taken like a look at their whole schedule. I'm assuming they're going to play what, 11 games, 10, 12?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll say
Yeah,
12.
12.
I think 8-4 is reasonable.
Ooh, okay.
I think
Hell.
7-5 is not even like bad, but I think 8 because I do know they have USC, Oregon, and Utah.
mhm.
And as much as I'm rooting for Dion, those are probably 3 losses.
Yeah.
They can win. Don't get me wrong, and I'm rooting for them to win. But I think those definitely could be 3 losses on their record. So, like I said, if they finish 7-5, 8-4, I think is a real successful season.
Hell.
Pac-10 is not an easy go around. Is 8-4 a cop out? Might be. You know what? I'll go 9-3.
Oof.
I'll go 9-3.
Wow. Okay.
I'll go 9-3 for me.
Wow. And at the beginning of the season, before they played TCU, I thought that if Dion was able to get this Colorado Buffalo football program to 500, I thought that would have been a good season, a damn near great season. I don't think people realize how bad Colorado has been, before Dion got there. I just want to reiterate, and I know we all know it, but they won one game last year. One game. He only has 10 scholarship players on his football team at this point. I'm gonna sip on the Kool-Aid, and I'm gonna say probably 7-5.
Okay, so he raised your expectations. Okay,
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm watching this Colorado Nebraska game, and his defense looks a little bit better than I thought they were after the TCU game. So that's given me a little bit more hope for the future.
Careful though. It really seems like this Nebraska offense is awful.
Yeah,
it really does.
Okay.
I don't want to take credit away from their defense, but from what I've seen, looks like Nebraska's going to have to be a defensive team this year. I'll just put it that way.
I mean, 23rd and the 30th, bro, at Oregon. That's going to be at Oregon and home to USC, back-to-back weeks.
Yeah,
they get 1-1 with that minefield. Then that 9-3 looks good.
Then they also playing Stanford
at home. They should be Stanford by then.
UCLA, Oregon State,
Utah.
Utah's
Washington
down.
State.
They're actually down to Baylor, I think, right now, like 10-6, like at halftime.
Yeah, but don't read too much into that. Their starting quarterback is still injured, not playing for Utah. So you got to figure that, hey, he's going to be back by the time they play Colorado.
Oh no, I got that as a loss. I already said that. I got Utah as a loss.
Yeah, they have a tough schedule, man. Real tough schedule. So we'll see. You're talking about Colorado, talking about Prime and Hill. I think you kind of alluded to it. There's been a lot of hype with Coach Prime, especially with their win against a ranked opponent.
Mm-hmm.
But along with that hype it's been, I think, equally balanced. You hear a lot of criticism out there for Coach Deion Sanders and how he's been able to do it, especially utilizing the transfer portal, encouraging his players to take advantage of NIL deals. I believe his son has the highest paid NIL contract for a college athlete right now.
Well, this guy just busted open just now. Pause. He's $7 million in any NIL player right now, and that's Ronnie James. Sold out all merch. USC number 6. He's $7 million more than any other player.
Oh, okay.
Him and Caitlin
Clark.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's our new reality. And along with that criticism, there's been a lot of infatuation, for lack of a better term, with Coach Deion Sanders and what he's bringing to Division I college football. What do you guys think of the hype surrounding Coach Deion at this point?
I don't know.
And his potential impact on the Division I football.
I don't know. I guess it depends who you ask. I don't think I'm excited about this because of hype. Yeah, I think people have to understand for people in our generation, our age group, Bo Jackson, Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson, Deion Sanders, these guys are sports deities to guys in, you know what I mean, like in our demographics, like that mid 80s, late 80s, like, so Deion was Deion way before Colorado. You understand? So yeah, it's hard to explain. Like if you don't know, if you know, you know, he's Deion Sanders. Bro, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, this is if Michael Jordan or if became a coach of the Lakers or something like that, or any team. You know, yeah.
I mean, to piggyback off of P, if you know anything about Deion, all of this is going to be worn. I'm sure right now, God forgive me, the ghost of Tim McCarver is probably asking God to send him back the other way. Just get me out of here. Send me downtown to your other angel. I can't deal with this. You give him this? If you don't get anything about Deion Sanders, eccentric, it might not even be enough of a word. Yeah. So he's a hard pill to swallow. And those are the type of players that I grew up marveling. It wasn't I don't understand how upset I saw like the Emmitt Smiths and the Barry Sanders just hand over the ball after a touchdown. Tim Duncan dunks the ball and hands it to the ref. I didn't want to see it. Deion started this great madness in which cultivated me as any type of sports fanatic. And that's what he's bringing in. Now he's bringing in relativity to the youth. You know what I mean? He's not this old fogey in which I coach you guys, you go home, I need you here at 6. He's an extended piece of family to these guys. You can reach this guy anytime. You know, when people say, oh, I can coach. And you said it pretty well. You know, Coach Cal got shots for having, his personal phone number handed out to a lot of his players. They were able to reach the guy. And that means a lot to players. You know what I mean? So being away and us being away in college and knowing it and having someone that serves as a parent when you're miles away from home, it's huge. And as boys turning into men and knowing the mistakes of what could see you at college, and we all know what those are, and him having that experience and saying, don't make these mistakes now. He's living proof of a person who you're trying to achieve. And then some. He's the greatest at his position.
Yeah.
He's your coach.
I think, yeah. And I think both of your points, I think Deion is like the perfect encapsulation of that superior athlete that realizes, hey, I work hard so I can play hard. You know what I mean? And so that I can have fun with the game. That And I think he's the perfect role model or leader for this new generation of college athletes that's coming down the pike, where you have all these opportunities to create your own brand and promote your own brand and make money for the first time in college athletics. And you have someone that's saying to you, yeah, if you work hard, you should have swagger like this. And it's perfectly acceptable for you to have it like this, but you got to put in the work. And I think Dion is the marriage of both of those worlds, and to your point, he's shown that he's been able to do it at the peak levels. He's a legend, both in baseball and football. So, yeah.
And it's just your comfortability, and I can't control it. Hey, the guy's over there with a headset and a clipboard, and he's propping up his plates. I never seen him put on a chicken suit. I never seen him do a backflip on the sidelines. He's literally coaching.
Yeah. And then the sad thing is, if he did any of those things, they would have. He may be more well received by someone.
Right, but he's literally coaching.
Yeah.
And so that's it. To me, that's their problem. You know what I mean? And these kids just need to continue, and like you said, continue winning and continue playing. But he cannot control, how you feel about him. And I love the fact that he doesn't care about it either.
Yeah, if someone's confident makes you uncomfortable, that's your insecurity.
Yeah.
And I think Dion's confidence makes a whole lot of people uncomfortable.
Yeah. Hey, hit us up on social media. Let us know what you guys think. What do you guys think about the impact of Coach Dion arrival in Colorado? What do you think Colorado football chances are for success? Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that notification button so you know when the next video is coming out. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. And you can hit us up directly at weneedthefifth@gmail.com. Fellas, NBA offseason has been kind of quiet, but we finally have some big news. Christian Wood is finally off the board, fellas. Christian Wood has been signed by the Los Angeles Lakers. And Hill, you correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's a 2-year minimum contract. With
with
a
play option in second year.
Yeah. So, fellas, we've been talking about Christian Woods being out there for a while. He's finally picked up by the LA Lakers. What do you think? How do you think this impacts the Lakers' chase for a championship? Phil, I'll start with you, the Laker fan.
From a purse standpoint, you got him for a darn near $54 million cheaper for a 2-year deal. So that's a plus for the Lakers. He has height. He can shoot the ball. Defense we could work on because he needs some. All things equal, I got it as a steal. I targeted Christian Wood for the Lakers, but I knew they didn't have the money.
Yeah.
So this is perfect for me. We'll see how it plays out. Christmas came early for me once they signed him. That's how high I am. So I'm wrong. It's $5.6 million. I'm not paying it anyway. So the fact that we have him, that's a huge plus for that front line.
Yeah. P, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts, this is not the Dallas Maverick free agent that I wanted to go to the Lakers.
I agree.
Really, really, really wanted to see Kyrie out there. Absolutely. That being said, I like his game. I agree with Hill. I think it's a steal. Like for that price, I know,
Yeah,
he's not the greatest defender in the world. He's flawed and everything, but again, for what you're paying, that's a steal. And I think it's just a good pickup. He's a good player. He's going to
yeah,
help the Lakers win games. Now, how many games or how big of an impact that's remains to be seen. But they're better with them than they were the day before they signed him.
yeah. I think we're pretty unanimous in that. I think this is the same to you guys. I think this is a steal of a deal for the LA Lakers. Um, yeah, I to your point, Hill, I didn't even think Christian Woods was in the Lakers' plans. I didn't
Mhm.
think, to your point, I didn't think they could afford him. I thought he was at least a $20 million a year player, at
Mhm.
least. And I wouldn't have been surprised if he got 30. But for us to get him for what we got him for, um, yeah, exciting times. And that front court with him, LeBron, and AD, that could be dangerous. That could be real dangerous.
I mean, he could he be a cheaper LaMarcus?
I think that's where you're trying to get him to.
Nice little stretch for
Hmm.
with
But
AD. That could be nice little stretch four could equal a ring. I'm telling you, that's a after Kyrie, he was on that was the board for me,
mm,
and he felt to some certain way. I wanted Christian Wood for a while.
do you think this puts the Lakers closer to that favorite in the Western Conference?
Yeah, there.
How would you see the Western Conference right now?
I
With what we know, just
with what we know, of course, the
right
defending
now.
champs. Of course, the defending champs, and then I got the Lakers right there. I got Phoenix somewhere 3 or 4, but it's a big pickup for me. I was disappointed in the fact that the Lakers had a chance to get, I think it was Russ, and they could have got 2 picks plus Christian Wood and John Wall at the time.
Mm,
So I wanted Christian Wood since last year. And I would say you cut Wall, we'll see what he can give you. But I was looking to cut Wall and just grab, Christian Wood in the picks. You got him now for $5.6 million. That's the guy I wanted.
P, while you were going, I was asking Hill, does this push the Lakers, this deal with Christian Wood, push the Lakers closer to being the favorites in the Western Conference? And with what we know now, and assuming everybody's going to be healthy, how would you reseed? How would you seed the Western Conference?
It's a good question. They made it to the Western Conference Finals. I probably still have them at 2. I think I have Denver 1, Lakers 2, Golden State 3.
Phoenix 4.
Yeah, Phoenix 4. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Sacramento probably 5. Memphis 6. Yeah. So I think that they're definitely top 4 seed. Yeah, I know John Morant's not playing, but from what I've seen, they win without him anyway.
All right.
You got Dallas somewhere 7.
Who am I?
I like the pickup of what you call him from the Celtics.
Grant Williams.
Grant Williams.
Are they better than OKC, Minnesota?
We'll see.
They should be. That's the thing. Honestly, I'm going off the results that I saw last year. Because to me, Luka and Kyrie, that's a playoff team. But
They didn't make
it. But it's not.
I mean, those last 3 are pretty shaky. I mean,
yeah, but still, Luke, to me,
I think OKC could be better than them this year.
Dallas.
than Dallas. Yeah,
I mean,
I think OKC.
or
It's
last year.
which we call it. Yeah, I think Holmgren, especially with a healthy Chet Holmgren coming in, you continue building what you have with Shea, and then Giddey coming into his own.
Lou Dort. Yeah, it's a good team. The Williams, yeah, it's a good team.
All right. Hey, hit us up on social media. Let us know what you guys think of the Christian Wood signing by the LA Lakers. Do you think this moves them up in the championship contention ladder? Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like notification button for the YouTube channel. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. You can hit us up directly at weneedafifth@gmail.com. Fellas, what's on the radar?
Well, for me, 2024 Olympics. Honestly, this FIBA's been underwhelming because a lot of people didn't play, but I'm assuming Giannis will be available, Joker will be available, Wemby would be available for France. Hopefully, Wiggins and Jamal Murray are available for Canada. Man, I think this will be one of the best basketball Olympics that we've ever seen. So yeah, I'm definitely waiting on next summer, 2024 Olympics, man. Basketball should be crazy.
Phil, what's on your radar?
13-7. I'm getting a little shaky here. I didn't have Nebraska actually winning this one, so it's not out of my 9-3. This was a gimme. So it's Buffalo football right now.
Yeah, they're in the red zone. They're in the red zone.
Yeah. That's all your radar, bro.
Yeah.
Immediately, right?
Immediate now, right now.
You need to punch this in.
Really, I'm rooting for.
Missed it. Sorry. I just peeked into the game and somebody just dropped a touchdown pass. I'm sorry. What's on my radar? Coco Gauff. She just got into the U.S. Open Finals. She's going to be playing later on today, so that's on my radar. New York Liberty, WNBA, they are cooking, and that's home cooking. So it's finally a New York basketball team I can get behind. So I'm excited to see what they do in this upcoming postseason coming up in the WNBA. So that's what's on the radar, man. And college football. Colorado football. Oh shoot, they just scored again. Yeah, that's on the radar too. Fellas, it's been real. Another one is in the bank. And to all our fifths, thank you. Be safe out there. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. Don't forget to like and hit that notification button for the YouTube channel. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah. Peace.